Guess who's back? I'll give you a tip. It's not Slim Shady. We are heading into the draft already. Gamers2 is apparently mad. They want to start the next game immediately. Alternate Fancy says like, hey, yeah, we can do that. We are already in the draft, boys. And, well, guess the map. It is Blackheart's Bay. Now, Alternate Fancy is going to be pretty happy about this because this is their best map in Gamers2. Granted, are also very strong on Blackheart's Bay, but I don't think that Alternate Fancy has a problem with picking or like with playing this particular one.
Yeah, I doubt they will have any issue with this. Also, I'd like to point out the theme of the map so far, other than that one Cursed Hollow map, has basically been the middle of the map shooting things. Both of the maps that have that map mechanic have been chosen so far. However, we are in the bans. Gamers2 instantly banning out the Jaina. They had a little issues with it, considering that's what killed them on the course. So banning that out straight away. Fancy responding with the sensible Zeratul ban. Gamers2 picking up that Johanna.
Yeah, picking up the Johanna, and this time the Johanna is really a super early pick for them. Of course, Illidan on this map is still quite strong, and even Abathur is being played a lot here. So I am very, very curious to see how Alternate Fancy is going to play that now. Because, well, we've seen crazy games already by them. For them, it's again the Uther. The Uther seems to be really the weapon of choice, very flexible in the draft. What's going to be the second hero, though?
Yeah, like you said it exactly right. The weapon of choice, because it is so versatile, it's the perfect setup for a melee assassin. It can even put them in a situation where, if they want to, as second pick, they could seriously screw Gamers2 over Liquid Style with their support. It's not Liquid Style of first banning a support, but they could still pick one here and then ban another, which would limit Gamers2. It would limit them down to Lili. They could like pick Malfurion and ban Rhaegar or vice versa. But that would be a very greedy first two picks.
Yeah, I don't really believe quite in that.
It's not going to happen.
I could see something happening, like even maybe an Illidan and an Abathur, something along those lines. Abathur has been a highly contested hero today, and a lot of teams have even gone in to ban him out or even to go straight into first pick. In this case, we have an Uther already starting things off. If you go into an Abathur, of course, now you already indicate that you would really like to play with the melee assassin, and then there's a very high chance that Gamers2 is either going to ban out Illidan and do something else about it. But it's really the question of what exactly do you want to give up here. Then you could say, okay, we're going to go into a completely different approach right now and go for a more traditional hero. Pick, for example, our tank, since already there is a tank on the opponent's team. They might go double tank again and ban one out against us. But I feel like with the way the games have been going today, Illidan or Abathur would probably be a very solid opening for them. But they go into their tank choice instead, and it is, again, the Anubarak.
Yeah, and these two heroes have been picked together quite a lot today. The huge stun lock you get from this, the Anubarak, the Uther, just stun after stun after stun, and it puts you in a very comfortable opening. Like we've been seeing a lot of first pick Anubaraks today. Puts you very comfortably. You can still go melee. You can still go for a full stun lock team. There's a lot you can do with this.
Yeah, now we have those two picks for, well, at this point, Gamers2, I am very intrigued, to be honest with you. I mean, first of all, we have still the option you can go into a Kalthas here. We have them also in a situation where Zagara, for example, would make a lot of sense again. Zagara has been even banned out the last time that we saw the map being played, and Zagara is just like strong at the bot lane in particular. You have a very good position there and a good chance also to go straight for the chest and get those 5 coins that spawn early on in the game. So Zagara is one of the options that they have, in my opinion, but they should probably really take their healer no matter what. So either the Malfurion or the Rhaegar is going to come in, because as you already explained, like with an early Uther pick here, there could be a lot of pressure on the heals if there is going to be a ban by Alternate Fancy later on.
I'm going to go out on a whim here. I'm going to take just a complete shot in the dark, and I'm going to say they're going to pick Malfurion. And that's why. I was waiting for that. There it is. I was about to ask you, Galdor, what really does Johanna show as a first pick? And there it is, the Asmodan coming straight out.
They like to play this a lot, like Asmodan. I mean, we all know that Tomb of the Spider Queen is like the Asmodan map, but if you would name a second one, then definitely Blackhearts comes to mind, because you can soak or you can stack on the top lane and also on the mid lane. And that's what a lot of teams do. And with that, picking the, actually going straight for the Malfurion makes a lot of sense. Again, though, we could even see Alternate Fancy pick up a Rhaegar, because a double support against Asmodan is not really bad. There's a couple of approaches of how you can deal with an Asmodan, and the main approach is you try to push.
Yeah.
You try to take them down, you get ahead in experience, and you exploit the weak early game of Asmodan. Another way is, though, you go into double heal and try to out-heal the damage that comes in later and really just still push, but not at the same pace.
Yeah, and the last style, which is so far the least successful, is to make like Na'Vi did at DreamHack Valencia. Pick everyone with spell shields and then don't engage Asmo down until he has max stacks. Not the best way to deal with it. Like, they all had spell shields, they had the map advantage, they had control of the map, and then they just didn't really do anything.
Well, for now, the ban is Zagara. I mean, in this case, of course, you don't want that your opponent ends up with a Zagara. It's interesting that they don't even think about picking a Zagara, since Zagara has a lot of pushing power.
I think it makes the most sense due to the fact that Gamers2, their whole comp is based around stacking Asmodan, but this is a map where there's a huge distance between the mid and top lane and the bot lane. The bot lane is so far away that you want someone who can easily hold the bot lane. Zagara would be by far the best choice for this. Sylvanas.
Yeah, but that's exactly the reason why I would pick it and not ban it.
True, but they still have options for melees. They may have something already in mind for that, but I agree it is a bit odd, but I think it's just they're securing it away and leaving themselves more comfort room.
The thing is, though, it's one of the best pushing heroes, so apparently they're not pursuing the strategy of pushing early against an Asmodan
well,
and
if they
trying
go
to...
Sylvanas and leave her bot lane, then who can Gamers2 pick against that? TAS?
The thing is, they could have picked both if they wanted to.
Very
so
true.
they have the next double pick, and I'm rather curious to see. There's an Illidan ban immediately, so making sure that Uther is not going to combo with a melee assassin, or at least not with the one that they used already. I've seen them use Thrall on this map, but I'd not against a composition like this.
They used Thrall on the previous map as well, and Fancy. They like the Thrall. There's also the option against Asmodan. He has an incredibly big body and incredibly big hitbox. He's actually a very nice target for Kerrigan. She can pull him in, get the stun very easily because he has such a wide hitbox. Nice and easy to hit.
Tyrael is oftentimes a choice that you see against him in general. But instead they go into a Muradin. Very tanky hero here, of course. But the thing is that Tyrael can also screw with the stacking process a little bit, and that's something that we're not seeing them do at all. When it comes now to the rest of their picks, though, I'm still wondering if it wouldn't be like Nazeebo or Sylvanas would really be my two choices here at this point, because Sylvanas can give them the pushing power, but it doesn't really feel like they're going for a heavy push lineup. It really feels like they're just like trying to wait it out, try to push wherever they can, but then still go for the team fights and try to just like use the double front line to really dive hard against Asmodan and put him under so much pressure that he won't be able to get too many of his shots in.
This does look like it. There is the Kael'thas coming out from Molten Fancy. And it's a bit of extra long-range harass themselves, but Kael'thas gonna be taking serious damage, and he will 100% be the target of Asmodan once he gets those full stacks. And Uther's gonna have to work kind of overdrive to do this. And Kael'thas, one of those ranged assassins without Ice Block. So he's gonna have to purely rely on his own dodging skills and at level 20 Bolt.
Yeah, and now Gamers... I'm really curious to see what Gamers2 is doing right now, because if they want to stay alive, oftentimes what you are trying to do is just like, they could go into Tassadar, they could go into Nazeebo. Both of those heroes would work really well with what they already have. They have the opportunity to take even a Sylvanas here. Everything that like does pushing power and gives you a bit more sustain is something that really works with an Asmodan, because normally what you try to do is just survive. Survive the early game, get Asmodan the opportunity to really stack, and then you can do a lot of damage. The Arthurs at the front line, already a very sustainable hero, and also somebody that can just stop you if you want to go and dive the Asmodan. You have the Frozen Tempest and the Howling Blast, so I kind of like that.
Yeah, last pick for Gamers2. If I had to make the decision, I would say definitely it's going to be Nazeebo or the Sylvanas here, because like you said, they need someone to control the bot lane. They need that kind of pushing potential so that they have a distraction, basically, for Asmodan to give them time, give the team of Fancy something to deal with. And I think Sylvanas is probably the better option for that, especially seeing as the silence onto Kael'thas, onto Uther, could easily change the game, because suddenly no shields to protect against Asmo.
Yeah, I would think those two heroes are the ones. I mean, I've already talked about both of them earlier a bit, but I feel this is also the kind of damage they need.
Never mind.
You can use a Vala for this, but I mean, Vala is...
It's a lot more team fight damage than you get from a Sylvanas, which I think is kind of what they need, because right now, Asmodan has one reliable skill. He throws his ball, and then he has to wait for it to recharge, and until then, he hopes you stand still while he laser beams you.
Yeah, I mean, if they could have gone for both of the other two heroes here, still like thinking a little bit of how exactly they're going to lane it. They're probably going to like keep. Well, they have actually a couple of opportunities. We're going to see Asmodan and Johanna up at the top, probably together with Malfurion, and like I suppose they're going to set Vala down to the bot lane. They could have used Sylvanas for that, but it's really an interesting setup that they have here, and it's definitely one that can work. Also, a good potential is that we are, depending on how the game goes, they could go into Executioner on Vala together with the Arthurs that they're using here.
Very true, and I pretty much agree with you, but maybe just Arthur's on his own in one of the lanes due to the fact that he's one of the heroes who can hold a lane still. It's it's one of the huge advantages of Johanna as well. That's a butcher, but to finish by 4, it's one of the there's 2 heroes who can really hold a lane still.
Fresh meat.
Fresh meat. Can hold a lane still for Asmodan to get his stacks on. Arthur's is one of them. Let the lane get weak, throw down his root, and just hold it in place. And the same with Johanna with the Knight Takes Spawn. Okay, and now Butcher.
Yeah.
What?
It's kind of cool if you think about it. Like, what exactly can stop the Butcher on the setup of their opponents?
Very, very little.
There's like, what's the problem with the Butcher? The Butcher needs momentum as any other hero, and he's really very weak when you start to burst him down. So if he's ignored, then he's amazing. And one of the best things that you can run with the Butcher is either Tyrande or you simply go into an Uther, because both of these heroes are just able to give him what he needs. Either a stun follow-up on his own Ruthless Onslaught, or the Divine Shield to make sure that he doesn't get stunned out. With the setup that we're currently seeing on the side of Gamers2, they don't really have stun. There's not really a CC chain that they can use to lock the Butcher in place, and the Butcher is all about gathering up that momentum. So in this case, the Butcher is also one of those heroes that has on 13 a spell shield that he can use to really stay alive a bit longer. So that's a lot of momentum that you can carry into one of these fights, and they're already running a setup that is very, very focused on the front line. With 3 melees right now, this is actually very dangerous, I feel, because it's a very aggressive composition.
It is indeed a very aggressive composition. And the Butcher, like you said, one of those most aggressive heroes, but the level 13 talent you did mention, it is also the talent level where he does get a very high damage ability that can really make a difference if you're trying to burst an Asmodan, with the 15% of a target's current health being dealt on Ruthless Onslaught. Now, imagine that, 15% of your health, then the Furnace Blast. If you can get that off, then Asmodan, he's going to be full health. He's in the back line. You can probably kill him.
Then again, the problem with the Butcher is that he is not really... Like, he doesn't really have the highest hit point pool in the game.
Very true, but that's what Uther is for.
Yeah, but that Divine Shield doesn't last forever. Like,
it needs to last long enough so that Butcher can get his damage off, and then it's Kael'thas's job.
And also, of course, it's Butcher's brand. So
exactly,
they can do a lot with that. It's a really solid setup that we're seeing there, and I'm really happy that we have in the potentially last map of the day, since ATN Fancy is already in a 1-0 lead, that we finally see a Butcher here as well. We've been talking about this flexibility that they have regarding the melee assassins with an Uther as the first pick, and they've shown that now in this game. After Illidan was banned out, they just decided, all right, listen up, boys, we're going to go into the Butcher now, and we are already in the game, and we're going to find out right now what are they going to do with this. So, starting to the left side, we have Alternate Fancy with Crosby on Kael'thas, Devis on Anubarak, Krolu playing Uther, Darkmorg is all about the fresh meat here, playing the Butcher, and Blumby playing Muradin. Very front-heavy setup, but with a good damage dealer in the back line. To the right side of the map, we're seeing Gamers2, the Polish team. They're down 1 game in the series already in this best of 3 here, the last best of 3 in Group A. Nika on Vala, Shihu on Arthurs, Leo from Korea on Malfurion, Bashek on Asmodan, and Juve on Johanna.
Vala and Butcher yet to pick their level 1 talents. Vala, we spoke about earlier, has all those options when it comes to, for example, the Punching Arrow, the multi-shot, or even auto-attack builds. Whereas the Butcher has picked his talent. He went for the Invigoration, where if his hamstring hits a hero, the mana cost is halved and the cooldown is reduced by 1 second.
Yeah, so it's more about the cooldown reduction than anything else. Hamstring talents are usually taken also on level 4, and then you have the option to take them on level 7 as well, or instead of that, already the charge in, Ruthless Onslaught, and the Butcher's brand, he's immediately going to go for it, but he's getting lasered away with the All Shall Burn. Darkmorg is in a bit of trouble, and here comes the ball, and goodbye. Early kill already against the Butcher, and they might now get Shiku. No, but Krulu, the second one, yes. Double kill.
I would like to point out that that kill counts as 2 stacks for Asmodan, so he may have missed the wave, but he did get 2 stacks for that.
Yeah, the thing is really that in this case right now you don't want to die this early, so they overestimated the abilities just a tiny bit. We have a Rancor, an auto attack build, by the way, on the side of Vala, but there's the kill.
That's more like it.
Arthurs. There we go. That's the setup that they have been looking for. And we have them with 5 points. And down to the bot lane, just look at... Oh,
nope.
we missed
the body block though. Oh, the vault.
Wow, that was unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate. We've been seeing a lot of those. A Nubrak Sparrow charge. And everyone's done it. Everyone who's played a Nubrak has done it, where they've dived in, tried to get the stun, and missed.
And by the way, liking that build on Muradin a lot with the reverberation regarding the auto attack builds that we're seeing on Vala. Yes. Very good reaction to that.
Well, that's the thing. Vala took it second. That's what surprised me. Reverberation was already taken.
I mean, you are still in the back line, so as long as the dwarf doesn't jump you, I guess it's fine. But yeah, then it's a bit surprising. I thought it was the other way around.
No, Muradin was like one of the first people to take it out. Vala was literally the last person.
All right.
Oh, Butcher run. Oh, the knock-up from Kael'thas, giving Butcher more than enough room to get out.
Yeah, well, right now we have them starting to move in once again. We're going to keep an eye on, of course, the stacks that we are seeing for the Butcher. At the same as on the not on
both
the
of them have stacks.
More
we can
on
keep an eye on both.
More on Asmodan, but yeah, on the Butcher as well. For now, he's just trying to get his fresh meat in there.
Already?
Sorry?
40 stacks already.
Yeah, Blackheart.
That's, yes, it's a wonderful map. Just goes to show you. And didn't get all of them, but he's on 50 stacks now. Just working his way through. Shickle taking a bit of damage, but he is completely fine. Especially with
Malfurion in the mix and him going for the extra damage against minions and mercenaries, you can make sure that a single condemner from Johanna is basically enough. You just spam 2 Moonfires in there and then you're golden. Another quick hit. Very well done. They're stacking a lot, but an attempted kill against... Yeah, well, they're not really
the body block
just yet. Nearly, but it's not enough. Sheku on Arthurs gets away and escapes at the top lane.
So, Vala's gone Vampiric Assault. Not going with the Manticore. She's trying to go for sustain, but also a different kind of damage in sustain.
I don't really have a big problem with Vampiric Assault. I think it's really a decent talent to take, and we've seen that in several hybrid builds as well. It depends on if you want the sustain or not, and considering that we are probably going to see a big focus on keeping Asmodan alive, Vala is going to be in a solid position with this, especially since she's alone at the bot lane.
Butcher taking a lot of damage here, does get hit by Asmodan. He goes down again. And we're seeing a lot of trades here. It's currently only 1 kill to 3. But Gamers2 doing really nice with this. They're able to not only start stacking up the Asmodan, they're actually getting some very efficient trades. And that's not something you usually get with this comp.
Yeah, definitely not the case. And well, with Vala on the bot lane, I really like that. I don't really mind that Vampiric Assault at all, just because you have so much sustainability at that bot lane, and if she has to go away, then they will immediately start dropping in experience, and they need to keep the XP up here. Asmodan has by now 94 stacks already, so he's closing in on 100, 4 minutes into the game. Very solid here, just getting one after another.
Just hit 104, so like you said, closing in 100 instantly gets it.
So they have like 4 heroes that are rotating over from the top lane to the mid lane, and that is both lanes that they found easily, and they get their kills as well. Wow. This is crazy. Early game kills like this, you shouldn't get that when you're playing in Asmodan.
Yeah, and Uther came in with the Holy Radius, the only thing that kept Darkmog alive. Bloomby in an interesting position here, but he does have that Dwarf Toss if he needs to, and there we go. He's going to jump to safety there. But like you said, these stacks and the amount of kills they're getting are really looking good for Gamers2 at the moment.
Yeah, and the bot lane is completely out of ammunition, by the way. We are seeing Nika doing so much work here.
He's got good sustain as well. He's against the Nubarak, so he can just, if he wants to, even if there's no minions, he can lifesteal off Beetles.
Yeah, well, at the same time again, up here in the mid lane, another big battle. Ruthless Onslaught cancelled already.
Yeah, we have Vala going with the Searing attacks. More damage. Just once more. The Muradin going with the hybrid build. We see there's a small engagement, stuns and roots coming in from everyone. There is the slam from the Asmodan, but not enough to really get anything. And Arthas gets stunned again, but he is fine this time. Has enough reinforcements.
They get a lot of the coins though. 9 coins against 1, and this bot lane is just looking worse and worse. They need to do something about it, especially since Asmodan is the entire time helping out with this bound minion trade. Yeah. He's putting this in every time that he can, just so that Nika can push this lane in, and he is about to drop a few of those structures, whereas up at the top we have with level 9 closing slowly in on level 10. Now the rest of the Gamers2 setup just getting stack and stack and stack for Asmodan.
Yeah, they're trying to do as much as they can. Vala has in fact had time to go back to base, and Anubrak is still having to clear up that minion wave. Asmodan stacked. And he's just doing this so well. Gamers2 so far ahead right now. They're pushing bot lane. They're pushing both of the top lanes. They're getting all of the stacks. And like we said, it's still 1 kill to 4. They're just dominating. And there's their level 10s. There's the Blessed Shield immediately onto Kael'thas and down. Oh no! Nice gravity lap. Gets everyone, but he still goes down.
The problem really is that Alternate Fancy, I feel, thought that with the lineup that they have, they can interrupt the stacking and they can just like move in and take these targets. They have a very aggressive setup and they should have been able to make something work, but it just turns out against them completely. They're an entire level behind. There's the level 10 off finally, but it's a 4 versus 3 situation and they just don't care. They simply go for the fort.
Lamb to the slaughter has been taken by the Butcher, not even going for that burst damage that might have allowed them to just completely kill off the Asmodan here, who is currently flying away, arms outstretched, as the team of Alternate Fancy are trying to push in here, and he still stacks.
He still stacks. He has his black pool right now, and he just doesn't really care about the team fights yet. That is something that he will do later. At the bot lane, we have Nika. They get even more experience. Just like, look at this Vala going ham and starting to push the lane in once again. So they are going to relieve those towers of their ammunition too. Davis is moving in, trying to contest that. It's a turn and an attempt for Alternate Fancy, and they're probably going to get that. But the thing is still that in this case, we're having such an amazing position for Alternate Fancy.
Leo spots this roam coming in, trying to steal that camp. And the route prevents any kind of camp steal. And like you said, they were going for the turn-in, but they don't even have anywhere near enough coins. They have 1 coin above halfway.
230 stacks, 8 minutes into the game. Very solid situation. And just look at the bot lane here. Another camp taken. This is going to be a double camp against the bot lane. And the more that you have to focus on deep pushing the bot lane, the more you leave the top lane completely empty and allow Johanna and Asmodan to again get these stacks in here.
Yeah, Nika dodges out from the burrow charge of Devis and immediately just pokes him a little. But now he's just going to leave the lane because Leo's here. He actually gets the increased damage on his Moonfire here. He can just push up with these mercenaries and let Valor turn in.
They're turning in just now.
Nika interrupted.
Nika's interrupted, but chests are up again.
That minion, he wants that tower.
Yeah, the minion wants the tower for sure. And the bot lane is still pushing. It's still pushing, and they're fighting for the chest here. It looks like Alternate is going to be able to get this one, but at the same time, the mid lane chest goes again to Gamers2, and they are still completely dominant over here. Darkmook is very much alone in this Butcher, and that is not a good place for Butcher to be.
Yeah, Butcher really benefits from a multi-person roaming gank squad. And right now, busy defending. And the mid lane's pushing up, bot lane's pushing up with 2 mercenaries. There's the kill onto Kael'thas. They were able to engage. Asmodan, huge damage onto Blumby. Blumby does not have his stun up. He pops Avatar just to cancel the laser. Yeah,
it's level 13, and therefore we have March of Sin taken on 13 for Bartek. Again with the stacking here. Just so much damage already that we are seeing on him. I mean, just looking at the damage against minions alone, 66,000 siege damage that we are seeing on Asmodan right now. If you look at the hero damage, it's only looking at 9,000, but it's still pretty solid considering that Vala, as the top damage dealer in the game, has only 12,000 thus far.
Yeah, and Asmodan, like you said, currently on 300 stacks. Yep. He is over 3/5
He's not
of
over
the way there. He's not over 9,000.
But he's close, he's close.
He is close, and he's still going. Somehow he's missing heroes with almost every single one of these. But
and again on the carpet.
Only needs to hit one. Whee!
Whee! Very, very happy Asmodan.
So happy.
He is very happy. He has 300 stacks. Like, he doesn't even know what to do right now.
Well, right now he's going to go help his team, but there is a team fight. Shehu getting stunned up. Nice Blessed Shield.
Whoa, that hit against 4. Oh my god, holy mother of mercy. He takes all of them down in health, and there is a 4-man
Run, Butcher, snipe.
No
my
way.
god, and Uther, the ghost is trying to heal. Asmodan's going to have it off cooldown in a second, though. There's no Uther ghost. Asmo wants the cooldown. It's off cooldown. Does he try and snipe? It's not going to kill him, but it could still do a lot of damage.
They just go for the keep.
They are going
at least
for the
wall. They have 22 coins. 22. They go for it. They're on level 16, Thatcher.
The root does not land on Darkmook there. He's coming in now. He has reinforcements. Nice stun from Blubby, but the keep is already down, and Gamers2 just pulling out here, feeling very comfortable. And look at this. They've taken down all of the forts, one of the keeps, and they haven't lost a single fort yet. And Asmodan, he is on still 380. He's having the time of his life.
He is just like going full wee. Yeah, he's having fun.
I'm waiting for the all chat message.
Okay, I believe like that was a quadruple spell shield, all right?
Yeah, I do not blame them in the slightest.
Wait, think about that last 4-man globe without the spell shield.
Yeah.
Wow.
This has to. They needed this. They absolutely. This was Navi's response to this when they first played against it. Just like, oh god, we've let this happen. Quick react. Spell shield. And there's a lot of dancing, very little actual prancing here. There's the ice bot coming from Alfurion, a bit premature. But Gamers2 trying to chase in here. Nice knock-up from Deviz, actually giving his team a bit of leeway. Dark Mock is also in full retreat. And
Bashek is going full whee in the back lane here. Not even doing anything just yet. There they are, turning in again. They have 26 coins.
Yeah,
and another stack
process. Higher talent ahead, and this is why Alternate Fancy are choosing to not engage as much as possible.
Azmodan is the happiest hero in the game. They move to the bot lane where there's a Siege Giant camp already pushing. They don't have him to do anything. It's just like more stacks, 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 and stacks. And by now he is at 366 stacks. Wow. That's 12 minutes into the game, and like half the time it was team fighting. At least that's what it felt like.
We haven't even seen the lamb to the slaughter coming out from the butcher yet. Whereas I'm pretty sure the Furnace Blaster may have actually been a better decision here, because they're not catching anyone alone.
Yeah, the Butcher was basically turned into the Lamb, and that's all there is. There's nothing else. I mean, they're trying to go for a turn-in again. They have an instant turn-in here. Yov alone has enough to turn in, and that's what he does. The mid lane keep is going to fall. The bot lane keep is already down, and the structures or the cannonballs are going to turn to the top then and going to push this in too. This is like the... there are no words in the English language to describe how far ahead Gamers2 is right now. It's only seconds before they are going to throw again.
The sad part is it could be true.
I don't think so.
I would like to say, though, you did call straight from level 1 the Executioner coming in from Valor, and that's just more damage as if they needed it. Combined with the Arthas, with the Malfurion and the Johanna, so much CC, and that's just so much extra damage.
Look at this boss.
And
like, gone. He didn't even get a single stun.
Oh, they're doing it again. They're waiting for it. They're waiting for it. Here it comes, Dogmon. There's the Blessed Shield. Rain of Vengeance Divine Shield is on the Butcher. There's the Lance of the Sword. It's on Johanna, and she ignores it. She shrugs it off. The Butcher tries to charge into Bajek, but now Alternate are in full retreat. Leo from Korea coming out with the Tranquility. Snipe on Krolu almost wipes him out. Bloomy also jumping for freedom. Down goes Krolu.
I discovered the secret behind Land to the Slaughter. Do you know what it is?
What is it?
It's an escape mechanism.
Apparently. Well, apparently not in this case. He threw it on Johanna and she ignored it. Down goes Bloomy. Getting sniped by the Azmodan.
3 points and an Uberak is dead as well. It's definitely an escape mechanism. It's the Butcher's oh shit button. It's like when he charges in and realizes, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And
mistakes were made, run!
Back to the slaughter and just away. The keep up here at the top, about to be eliminated. Wow, I mean, this is, I have no words.
Yeah, they're going in.
Are mad. They are really mad, and you can tell.
They love this build on this map, and they're trying for the end here. Everyone's about to come back to life, though, but it doesn't matter. Down goes Butcher this time, and we're trying to see the defense from Krolu and Crosby, but Gamers2 this time, they actually have health bars, and they're going to push down the core, and GG. And Gamers2 bring the score back to 1-1.
Unbelievable finish. What a game. I mean, the last few games where we saw Gamers2 playing on Sky Temple, they turned at the end against Gamers2. But right now, they completely obliterated Alternate Fancy. These guys were angry. And that is one of the best maps that we actually see for Alternate Fancy. So guys, the series is tight. One map, the last map. It's the one map where we will see which team is going to go to Gamescom. And we're going to be back with the draft in just a tiny little bit. So guys, stay tuned. The last match coming up here at the WCA European Pro Qualifier in just a few minutes.